Was it Sidney Poitier, Hattie McDaniel, Louis Gossett Jr., Denzel Washington, and Halle Berry breaking barriers? Or maybe the streaker behind David Niven, Jack Palance flexing his literal muscle, doing multiple one-arm push-ups on stage? Charlie Chaplin winning a Lifetime Achievement Award, and the producers of the ceremony actually allowing a well-deserved 12-minute standing ovation. Marlon Brando's opting out, and who he sent in his place to accept the award. Hitchcock's amazing two-word acceptance speech, or maybe Kathleen Bigelow's breaking the barrier that only took, 82 years. Christopher Reeves returning to his stage after his terrible accident, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s refusal to end his speech early and receiving a well-deserved standing ovation for it, John Travolta's Adele Dazeem, and let's not forget 2017's mind-boggling Best Picture fiasco that ended in the cringiest ending to the Oscars ever. So many incredible memories, so many historic moments. What will this year hold? We'll find out shortly. Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Overly Honest Movie Reviews. My name's Chris, and as always, I try to give you guys what you want to see. Please like this video, then subscribe and follow me for more content like this. I cover anything and everything related to movies, both old and new. So I thought about it for a while, how I was going to do this video, what exactly I was going to cover. I decided that the best way to handle it was just to go off script a little bit, as well as tackle some various topics. I'm going to start the video by letting you guys know who I think should win. Then I'll reveal at the end who I think will actually win. Make sure to stick around if you want to beat your friends and family in your Oscar pool this year. We'll see how well this aged next week. So here we go. My picks of who should win the Oscar in each category this year. I was able to complete the Oscar death race again this year, which makes it 6 out of the last 8 years, something like that. I'm not 100%, but that was in large part, I'm sure, thanks to streaming and COVID and all that. I only saw one film in theaters, 2 films, one before COVID and then one recently. So I saw every Oscar-nominated film, including all the shorts. While this doesn't mean that my picks really hold any weight, I mean, I don't get to vote, unfortunately, it does mean that I've seen the competition. I've seen who every one of these go up against, and these are my true feelings of who I think should win. So that this doesn't take like 3 hours, I'm just going to go through the list of the different categories, who I think should win. I might have a word or two about why, but, we'll go from there. So, starting Best Picture. I know they end the ceremony with Best Picture, but I like to start it with that. So, I feel Promising Young Woman should win. My favorite film of the last year. Well, last actual year, not 2020, but you get what I mean. I loved it. Everything about it. Perfect movie to me. The ending, I'm not a fan that they had to rewrite that, but whatever. Best Director, Chloe Zhao. There's really no doubt in my mind that she's going to win. She's basically dominated the award circuit, and rightfully so. Best Actress, Carey Mulligan. Best performance of her career for Promising Young Woman, hands down. Best Actor. So here's my 2 cents on this. I know who's going to win, and I think it's rightfully deserved. He had an excellent career. You'll see at the end who that pick is, but I understand. I get it. But Anthony Hopkins is my pick, and I mean, he was absolutely incredible in that film. The Father just blew me away. So yeah, that's what I'm going to go with for actor. Supporting actress, I'm going to pick Maria Bakalova from Borat's subsequent movie film, which I'm not going to say the whole name of the film, but supporting actor, Sacha Baron Cohen from Trial of Chicago 7. I love him. I don't know. Yeah, I think he's proven time and time again that he's able to not only tackle comedy, but also serious acting as well. Adapted screenplay should go to The Father. Original screenplay should go to Promising Young Woman. By the way, just as a neat little factoid that I learned, any sequel nominated for an Academy Award for their screenplay automatically becomes adapted because of the original film being the original work, and then anything after that being adapted. I thought that was interesting. Cinematography, I feel, should go to Nomadland. Costume design, I want Emma to win, primarily because I think Emma should win something, and there aren't a lot of nominations for it. Film editing, Sound of Metal. Makeup and hairstyling, I've always had an issue with this. I think the category is kind of weird. Makeup and hairstyling are two completely different things. My pick does go to Ma Rainey's. I just think that it was a very unique style. Production design, I'm going to give it to Mank. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the movie, but it did look good. Best score, I think Soul should win. Again, not a huge fan of the film. I know people are going to light me up for that, but I didn't like it. I didn't think it was bad. I just, there were far better in my opinion. Best song, Husavik from Eurovision. Say what you will about the movie, but I loved the song. Sound. Now, I love that they combined the two sound categories this year. It's been ludicrous to me that there were two different sound categories that next to no one knew the difference between. So, I'm glad that they finally combined them into one, because sound is sound. Yeah, you can do different things to it, but it's still sound. With that said, Sound of Metal. Makes sense, right? Visual effects, Tenet. A lot of movies got pushed back this year to next year, so, Tenet was really the only true big blockbuster, CGI-driven type film. While there wasn't a ton of amazing CGI, they did do a lot of cool things with the CGI. Animated feature, this is one of my sticking points. I think Wolfwalkers should win, hands down. Cartoon Saloon has been 4 for 4, come up with 4 movies, 4 Oscar nominations, and always lose to Disney and Pixar, and that just breaks my heart. But, I guess when you buy the award, that's what you get. Documentary feature, Crip Camp. That was very interesting to me. I learned a lot watching that one. International feature, which used to be the foreign language category. I'm biased on this, and I'm okay admitting I'm biased on this. This year was the first time that I ever received a screener copy of a film to watch. I was pretty certain that the Tunisia's entry, The Man Who Sold His Skin, wasn't going to be available to watch anywhere before the Oscars. So that was kind of like my white buffalo, and I reached out to a lot of people. I heard back and was able to get a screener copy. So not only was the film great, it deserved the nomination. I think it deserves the award. Other films that were nominated that were really good, but to me, The Man Who Sold His Skin was hands down the best. Animated short. That goes to Burrow, even though that was a Pixar, which I'm crossed on that, It was the best to me. Documentary short, Concerto is a Conversation. I was very impressed by that, only in comparison to the other documentary shorts. This has been a rough year on everybody, and I'm picking that mainly because it wasn't super depressing. Last but not least, live action shorts. I'm 110% behind Two Distant Strangers. That was arguably one of my favorite films of the year, even though it was a short. I don't think it's going to win, unfortunately, but that's who I feel should win. I'm going to throw out just a couple interesting facts about this year's ceremony, or the Oscars in general, and then I'll get to the picks that are my official picks that I'm pretty confident are going to win. I'm proud to announce this year women are nominated for 32% of the nominees, or they account for 32% of the nominees. While this is the highest it's ever been, unfortunately, it does still show that the Academy is slowly crawling in the right direction. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fact that the Oscars have a long list of issues. I could make an entire series of videos about the issues that plague the ceremony and the Academy as a whole. From race issues, gender inequality, the ridiculous amount of money wasted on lobbying for films, the ceremony itself, the goodie bags that these guys get. Huge money waste, but it is what it is. I don't view the Oscars as the gold standard. That was a pun intended. I view them as the indicator of the best films. that Hollywood has to offer, not the best films the world has to offer, because that's still an issue that I don't know how they'd fix. But I mean, sure, they miss some every year, but no one's perfect. As I do the 1001 films, also, they update that every year. By doing the Oscar death race that I do, I'd say 9 times out of 10, I get at least the majority of the movies that they add to that list each year, because, they try to include the best films of all time. Believe it or not, in the last 10 years, the Golden Globes have only picked the Oscar winner for Best Picture 50% of the time. So we'll see tomorrow whether Nomadland walks away with the Best Picture. Do they get above 50% or do they fall below? I thought that was pretty interesting. To counter this, the Globes have also predicted the Best Actress category perfectly the last 10 years out of 10. So does this mean Andra Day is going basically a lock, since that's who they picked this year? This one, to me, is crazy. So I'm trying to argue in my head whether it's because COVID or if this is just the way of the future. Netflix has 35 nominations this year. Amazon comes in second with 12. Then in third, Universal and Focus Features have 11 apiece. Is streaming the future, or is this just a temporary layover? I mean, I have arguments for both, but it's interesting to me. Somehow Mank received the most nominations of any film this year, coming in at 11. Hollywood really does have an obsession with itself, doesn't it? Okay, the time's come. Here are my official picks. These are the ones that, based on my research, will win. I can say this much. While my system isn't 100% accurate, I have won against those who I've competed against, friends, family, even some theaters that put, Oscar ballots and whatnot together. 7 out of the last 8 years. Year 1 was before I started my system, and I just kind of picked, and I was like, oh, I've seen this movie, so that should win, obviously. Not so much. Okay, so here we go. These are my official picks. If you want to copy them, that's great. But these are the ones that, based on research and previous award winners, other people's picks, there's a lot of things that go into this, but primarily, this is just a system that I've made that seems to work pretty well. Best Picture, I feel, is going to go to Nomadland. Chloe Zhao, I believe, is going to win Director, so I agree with that in my pick. Carey Mulligan, I think, is going to pull off the Best Actress, which also agrees. Here's another disagreement. I do believe they're going to give it to Chadwick Boseman. Again, his performance in Ma Rainey was fantastic. I liked that movie a lot. I think in a normal year, Boseman probably wouldn't have won, but the Academy does like to do things like this. They like to make up for previous issues. They like to give Lifetime Achievement Awards that aren't really Lifetime Achievement Awards. So I do feel he's going to win, which I really don't have a huge problem with. I just liked Anthony Hopkins' performance better. For supporting actress, I do believe that Yuh-jung will win. Supporting actor, I think will go to Daniel Kaluuya. Adapted screenplay, I think Nomadland is going to win. Original screenplay, which I also agree with, will go to Promising Young Woman. Cinematography, I think, will also go to Nomadland. I differ on my opinion here only because of my favoritism for Emma, but I think for costume design, Ma Rainey is going to win. Film editing, which I agree with, will go to Sound of Metal. Makeup and hairstyling will go to Ma Rainey. Production design, which I also agree with, will go to Mank. Best score will go to Soul. I think the winner for best song is going to be Speak Now from One Night in Miami. The sound category, when you put sound in the name of your film, it's more than likely going to win the sound category, hopefully. We'll go to Sound of Metal. Visual effects will also go to Tenet. I highly disagree with this, but animated feature is going to be Soul. That's as much of a lock as there can be a lock. It is what it is, but I personally liked Wolf Walkers better. Documentary feature, My Octopus Teacher. Foreign language, another one that I feel is pretty much a lock, will go to another round. Animated short, If Anything Happens, I Love You. I don't disagree with that. I thought it was a great one. I just wasn't a huge fan of the animation style, and as this is an animation category, I think that holds more weight, but that's just myself personally. Documentary short, A Song for Latasha, I think will win with no doubt. And then last but not least, for live action short, I'm 90% sure that The Letter Room is going to win. So I have an issue with something about this last one. I don't feel that an A-list actor such as Oscar Isaac should be allowed to be in a short. I mean, it's a weird can of worms. It's a weird hill that I'm going to die on here, but I feel that automatically gives that film name recognition that the others don't. I mean, how would I feel personally if I made a short that somehow got nominated for an Oscar? I mean, that would be freaking amazing. It's never going to happen, but you know. And then I have to go up against something with Oscar Isaac in it. It just doesn't make sense to me. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. With that, I ask you, who's your lock for an award this year? Like, guaranteed win no matter what. Who do you think was snubbed? Who do you think should have been nominated for something that didn't get nominated? Have you seen a film already this year, counting since the Oscar deadline, that you think should be nominated next year? Thank you again for joining me. Please comment below and let me know what your thoughts are. Don't forget to like this video, then follow and subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this. Make sure to check back next weekend when I post my video to see how well my locks did compared to the actual results.